the criminal complaint after we found out about Callella sending the fake ransom and all of that. But here we go. So Annie and Tomassi received a text from the number 760-209-0552 stating, quote, "Did you get the Bitcoin? We're waiting on our end for the transaction." AC and TC received these texts while in Arizona. Law enforcement was able to determine through open source methods that the 0552 number was associated with a voice over internet protocol, which is VoIP text and call application that allows users to obtain another phone number, kind of like a Google Voice, for their mobile device, separate from the number assigned to them by their wireless carrier. Law enforcement submitted an emergency disclosure request for the 0552 number. Based on records provided for the 0552 number was registered to the following email address. What a fucking idiot. Derrick Callella at gmail.com. He literally set up the email or he set up the Google Voice with his own email with his name in it. They didn't even have to Google the number. The email attached to the phone number is his own name. The records also indicated that the 0552 number had been accessed from the following IP address. So they have his IP at 6:02 p.m. on February 4th, 2026. Law enforcement submitted an emergency disclosure request to the internet provider for the 103 IP address and determined that the 103 IP address was associated with his residence in California. We already did, Robot. If you guys find a picture of him, let me know. I didn't find a picture. After Miranda warnings, Callella admitted to sending the text. What an idiot. He admitted to using the voice over IP account from which 2 actual text messages came from. Callella stated that he pulled family information from a cyber website and that he had been following along and watching TV. When he said he sent the text messages, he was trying to see if the family would respond. Okay, let's stop there for a second. Let's stop there for a second. Do you guys believe that this guy did this just to see if the family would respond? Does that sound believable? A 9-second phone call. Who answered it? What was said? I mean, I'm looking at the timer on my OBS right now, and I'm going to sit silent for 9 seconds. Ready? Go. That was 9 seconds. Only Annie and Tomasso. Only them. Why only them? Data received shows that approximately 3 minutes after the text messages, Callella called a family member of NG, which lasted 9 seconds. The 2 text messages have not been linked to the February 2nd, 2026 ransom demand. What a moron. How did he get their cell numbers like online then? Okay. So my question is, why would this guy contact Annie and Tomasso? Why Annie and Tomasso? If he's looking for a payday, wouldn't it be a hell of a lot easier to contact Savannah? I mean, you could literally send something to NBC. She'd be sure to get it. I'm sure that Savannah has a, assistant or a manager or something. He could get to Savannah very easily. She's a public figure. So why didn't he? Why didn't he? There's a few curious questions, too, that the interview room brought up last night about this guy. And I find it to be absolutely fascinating when Chris McDonough zeroes in on something. I know I tuned in last night and saw they were talking about this Callella guy. And it was a very targeted conversation that really got my mind to go back to that I just showed you, because he was arrested. Now he's been released and no one is paying attention to him. I'm just not so sure we should discredit this guy and his involvement just yet as just being a hoaxer. I just think we should keep all options open because we just don't know. Now, this is Derrick Callella. Now, this is him. He was released, I believe it was the 12th or the 14th. Don't quote me. So this is him being released from being held federally. Derrick Callella. And he walks out with this lady, but I can't really tell if they're together. Like, he holds the door for her. She's talking to him, but then he kind of acts like he's not with her. She's talking. Is that his mother? Like, who is that? What do you guys think of that? So the interesting thing about him, right, is that he was picked up in California. He was picked up, Divine, you're funny. Listen, he was picked up in California. And a lot of times, like if this was just a rando, person trying to get a ransom, they would just try him in California. But what they're doing, guys, is they're keeping him in Arizona. They're keeping him there. And who's a federal public defender? I don't know if Tomasso's bandmate is assigned to this guy, but they're keeping him in Arizona. He can only go to a few states. These are his conditions. He can only go to a few states, California being one of them, Arizona being one of them, and the states in between to travel. He's also not allowed to have any communication with any of the witnesses involved, anybody, or the victims, they called them, the family. He also was given a device that is monitored 24/7 by the feds. If this was a rando, why are they doing all this? Why are they doing all this? This guy's a citizen. This guy worked for the county of LA. He used to, I don't think he does anymore because he got in trouble for embezzling money for unemployment. And he's currently got an open case for that. So why would they want to surveil him? Okay, who are these people coming? I'm keeping my eye up there. Anyways, I don't know how many people actually saw this, but I did clip this segment, and I'm going to apologize in advance for Bob Gilliam's mic. He's using old school iPod things, and his mic is on his throat. You can literally hear every noise. So I just want you to know it's not me. All right, here we go. So my thoughts on this Callella were not far off. If, you go off what these professionals say.
Sure, absolutely.
You'd want to get in there and say, okay, help us understand again. Okay, we get Annie's piece of the puzzle here, without a doubt. We get Annie's piece of the puzzle. Okay, that's the victim's daughter. But I'm curious, how in the world did you get in the middle of this thing? And here's the complaint right here. And this is this Derrick Callella guy. I'm not off of this guy yet. I know people have, they're like, would you let go of McDonough? I said, okay, no, I'm not going to let go yet until there's a clarity here. And I don't have clarity here personally. Okay. Because listen to this.
Wait, before we play this, can you guys please hit the thumbs up? We only have 400 thumbs up. We have a 1.1 in here. Please hit the thumbs up, guys. Reminder. Let's see. Are these people going to talk? No.
He lays out in his affidavit for the charges of this guy in the first paragraph. But then we get into the real meat and potatoes here. Count 2. On or about February 4th, shortly after the video was published, AC, which is Annie, and TC, which is her husband, the daughter and son-in-law of Nancy, both separately received a text message from the following phone number. And he uses a burner phone, a ghost number out of Southern California. That's San Diego County, 760. Stating, here's the text message. Did you get the Bitcoin? We're ghost number out of Southern California. That's San Diego County, 760. Stating, here's the text message. Did you get the Bitcoin? We're waiting on our end for the transaction.
Listen close, guys.
What's he talking about?
Sniffing
to
McSniffer.
Tomasso.
To Tomasso.
Okay,
Listen.
text message. Did you get the Bitcoin? We're waiting on our end for the transaction. What's he talking about? To Tomasso. Why is he texting Tomasso asking him, did you get the Bitcoin? When it's Savannah, her brother, and Annie at the table getting the letters of demand. Why is he talking to Tomasso? That makes no sense to me. I mean, I could be in total left field here. I've had people laugh at me, and all. I'm used to it. I'm good with that. Okay. But I got a 90% solvability rate too. So I'm gonna stick to what I know sometimes. I could be.
Did you get the Bitcoin? We're waiting on our end for the transfer.
You have another set saying, send the money.
Bing bong.
Think about that.
Those two went in sync with each other.
In this conversation, it's we're waiting. In that conversation, they're saying, connect with us. We're willing to pay. Two thought processes going on simultaneously. One is waiting, and one is saying, connect with us. We'll make it happen.
On behalf of our family, we want to thank all of you for the prayers for our beloved mom, Nancy. We feel them, and we continue to believe that she feels them too. Our mom is a kind, faithful, loyal, fiercely loving woman of goodness and light. She is funny, and spunky, and clever. She has grandchildren that adore her and crowd around her and cover her with kisses. She loves fun and adventure. She is a devoted friend. She is full of kindness and knowledge. Talk to her and you'll see.
The light is missing from our lives. Nancy is our mother. We are her children. She is our beacon. She holds fast to joy in all of life's circumstances. She chooses joy day after day, despite having already passed through great trials of pain and grief. We are always going to be merely human, just normal human people who need our mom. Mama, if you're listening, we need you to come home. We miss you.
Our mom is our heart and our home. She is 84 years old. Her health, her heart is fragile. She lives in constant pain. She is without any medicine. She needs it to survive. She needs it not to suffer. We too have heard the reports about a ransom letter in the media. As a family, we are doing everything that we can. We are ready to talk. However, we live in a world where voices and images are easily manipulated. We need to know, without a doubt, that she is alive and that you have her. We want to hear from you, and we are ready to listen. Please, reach out to us. Mommy, if you are hearing this, you are a strong woman. You are God's precious daughter, Nancy. We believe and know that even in this valley, He is with you. Everyone is looking for you, Mommy, everywhere. We will not rest. Your children will not rest until we are together again. We speak to you every moment, and we pray without ceasing, and we rejoice in advance for the day that we hold you in our arms again. We love you, Mom.
Love you, Mom.
We love you, Mom. Stay strong.
We love you, Mom. We love you.
And so this very first text is a question. Did you get the Bitcoin?
Did you get the Bitcoin?
Which now we can go to, is somebody working with somebody else in this Bitcoin problem that's connected to the garage door opening or not opening? I don't know. These are definitely questions that need to be looked into. And I hope I'm in absolute left field. I really do. But they can't be ignored. And I'm sure the investigators have flushed this out. Because what did we hear in the most recent thing? The family's been cleared. And what do we hear in LA? He's not connected. But you know what will happen? I guarantee you. Bobby, you know what I'm going to say. That guy in LA, they took his buccal swab. And they're going to check it. Not necessarily in CODIS because he may not be in, well, he's in CODIS today. Okay. But they're going to run it up against the other stuff that they may have. And maybe he's not the guy who has ever come over here. And they're going to say, well, he's not in the house. Okay, well, what's his role? I don't know. Personally, they thought it was important enough to take that guy down quickly, but they haven't taken the knuckleheads down who were sending the 4 letters to TMZ.
Bing bong.
In the last.
Exactly. They've been doing this for 2 weeks. They get this guy the next day. He does it on the 4th. This guy's arrested on the 5th. And ain't nobody talking about it. The media's not reporting on it. No one's talking about it. It's just like, oh, it's a big nothing burger. But we're gonna give him a phone that's monitored 24/7. We're gonna let him out on $20,000 bond, and we're gonna make sure that he is charged in Arizona in federal court. We all know that Tomasso's bandmate is a federal defender. So who's defending him in federal court? I want to know. I want to know. It's very strange. It gets your wheels churning, man. I'm telling you. Let's keep listening.
What's going on with that one? But that guy, they grab him quickly.
Mm-hmm. Quickly.
In law enforcement, we call that potentially the weakest link.
Bing bong.
The further out.
Bing bong.
And you sit down with him, and the feds are notorious for this. You're out of options. And we ran through this the other night in our other video. If you want the totality of it, I'm not going to, repeat it. But the other night, we broke this down succinctly as a collective. And the first one to the table wins. Yeah, exactly. Here's a great way of putting it. Debt collector calling. Did you get the Bitcoin? That's a
debt collector calling. What do you guys think of that?
Weird way to craft a text message to a guy that's not even in front of the cameras. And it just so happened that same guy dropped Nancy.
The same day that they drop a video, this clown just happens to text Tomasso and Annie. Tomasso's never even been in the limelight. He's never done an interview. No one's ever seen him except for the Daily Mail sneaking pictures of him covering his face. Covering his damn face. Like this. But someone's going to reach out and ask him for money? It's Callella. Why would he reach out to him? Who's he? Nobody even knows. If it wasn't for freaking Ashley Banfield, no one would have known who he was. So why'd he reach out to him? Savannah works for NBC. She could have gotten to the money real quick. She's worth $40 million.
Nancy off at the house. He was the last one to see her alive outside of the guy.
Oh, there you go. That too. Last one to see her alive. Another bing bong. They're not out of content, Eve. I don't believe that at all.
In the outfit. A $10.88 duffel bag.
I'd be really interested to know what Mr. California does for a living.
Mm-hmm.
What's his forte? Is he a drug dealer? Is he a bookie? Is he both? How does he make a living?
Yeah.
Is he a loan shark? What does he do? I don't know. I'd like to know.
Oh, I think you guys might have an idea of what he does for a living. Guy's a criminal. Here comes a box truck. What is this? Enterprise.
They can, the U.S. Attorney's Office can pass it off from L.A. to Arizona and say, here you go. Okay, he's your guy now, seeing how you guys got the most pressure going over there. I find that interesting why they didn't keep him in L.A. If he's just kind of a one-off.
Right.
You know?
Why didn't they? If he's just a one-off, some goon who just did this, why are they making him come to Arizona? Why aren't they just keeping him in California?
The marshals are almost always instructed by a judge to transport them to the district that has jurisdiction over the case. And in this case, of course, it's Arizona and Tucson. So that's probably why they brought him back here for the initial appearance. And he'll most likely have a second hearing, which is going to be a plea hearing. Well, he made a plea in the initial appearance, but he's going to either have a preliminary hearing or there's going to be some kind of discovery or something else go on with the case here, probably within the next couple of weeks.
So, Bobby, I think it would be interesting for the audience to understand that process of when a prisoner's picked up and they're moved and that kind of stuff. I mean, you being an undersheriff in the past, you have a clear understanding of.
Sean, a new hearing has not been set for Callella. However, his attorney tells me that he plans to waive Callella appearing at a future arraignment date. But in the meantime, he's under strict conditions while he is out of custody.
No date?
So what are these? For one, any devices that are approved by pretrial services will need to be monitored. He's also facing some travel restrictions. He's limited to Arizona, California, and the necessary travel for states in between to get from one to the other. And lastly, he is facing a lack of contact. He's not allowed to contact potential witnesses in this case, as well as victims.
So is it normal for just some hoaxy guy who tried to do a scam for them to not set a hearing, right? Get him in there. Give him a monitored phone, right? Give him a monitored phone. Restrict his travel, all this and that, because he did a hoax? Now, mind you, this Callella was also in a metal band. Same type of music as Tomasso. And you want to see something else? You want to see something else? Check this out. Everyone's ignoring this, but my Robat didn't ignore it. Thank you, Robat, for finding this. Let's talk about this. You want to talk about bands? You want to talk about LA? Let's talk about LA. Callalla's from LA. So is Zach Lind. Zach Lind is the drummer for the band Jimmy Eat World, and Nancy is his wife's aunt. He said that Annie and Tomasso are her daily caregivers. What the hell is going on here? Does Zach know Derrick Callella, Annie, or Tomasso? So here's Zach Lind. This is the drummer for Jimmy Eat World. The drummer for Jimmy Eat World. He says, imagine going through everything this family is going through and also having to contend with vile humans who post stuff like this. Unreal. Annie and Tommy are amazing people, dedicated parents who also love and care for Nancy on a daily basis. And he's retweeting this person that said Savannah Guthrie's brother-in-law and sister are the alleged suspect. They both look like creepy weirdos. And he's responding to that. But he's saying they love and care for Nancy on a daily basis. He's the drummer for Jimmy Eat World. Tomasso opened up for Jimmy Eat World in 2022. And this Callella guy also was in a band. And it's the same type of music as Tomasso. So there's a lot of puzzle pieces that I'm not saying it makes a complete puzzle, but something's weird. Something's weird.